At this point, it comes as no surprise that entitled celebrities used an awards show to spread their political agenda once again. While one rapper bashed the National Rifle Association during his performance at the Oscars, the crowd was left stunned as they spotted what he had purposely placed in the background. During the Oscars, rapper Common and singer Andra appeared on the Dolby Theater stage to perform their Oscar-nominated song Stand Up for Something. Although the performance was a clear political stunt, there were even more political props hidden in the number than initially met the eye, 10 to be exact. The politically charged performance by Common and Andra specifically took aim at the National Rifle Association and professed the duo's support for immigrants, according to IGN Review. Standing behind the performers were a group of 10 individuals who were left unidentified by ABC, but, of course, it didn't take long for those who were watching to identify them. The group included 10 activists: Brown Otter, Standing Rock Youth Council, Bana Alabed, author and Syrian refugee, Bryan Stevenson, Equal Justice Initiative, Cecile Richards, Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Dolores Huerta Foundation, United Farm Workers of America, Janet Mock, #GirlsLikeUs, José Andrés, ThinkFoodGroup, Nicole Hockley, Sandy Hook Promise, Patrisse Cullors, Black Lives Matter, and Tarana Burke, Me Too. It was soon revealed that, before the performance, each activist was personally contacted by the artists, who came up with the idea to use spotlights on the stage as a visual element and to highlight those on the ground doing the daily work of changing the world. "I thought, what if we got people who really do the work?" explained Common. "People who are true activists out in the world and on the front line. People whose lives, whether by circumstance, have become prime movers for change." Below is a list of what these 10 Hollywood-acclaimed activists have done on the front lines, according to Variety. Brown Otter, 14, is active with Standing Rock and the #NoDAPL movement, having run 1,519 miles at the age of 12 from Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in North Dakota to the front steps of the Army Corp of Engineers office in Washington, D.C. to protest the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. Bana Alabed, 8, is a Syrian refugee whose tweets, describing her family's personal nightmare as residents of Aleppo, brought her international attention and inspired her to write a book, titled Dear World, which was released in October 2017. Alabed's family withstood a 2016 siege of the Syrian city, suffering through airstrikes and hunger until they were able to escape to Turkey. Dear World, a Syrian girl's story of war and plea for peace, has been praised by the likes of J.K. Rowling, who described it as a story of love and courage amid brutality and terror. Bryan Stevenson, who is the director of the Equal Justice Initiative, EJI, and the author of Just Mercy, advocates for those wrongly convicted or unfairly sentenced. EJI is committed to ending mass incarceration and excessive punishment in the United States, to challenging racial and economic injustice, and to protecting basic human rights for the most vulnerable people in American society. Cecile Richards spent more than a decade as president of Planned Parenthood Federation of America and Planned Parenthood Action Fund and continues to advocate for women's rights to health care she needs, affordable childcare access and paid family leave. Dolores Huerta is a co-founder of the United Farm Workers of America with Cesar Chavez in 1962. Since 2003, she has run the Dolores Huerta Foundation, which is dedicated to voter registration and education campaigns, advocating for infrastructure improvements in low-income communities and for greater equality for the LGBT community. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2012. Janet Mock is the New York Times best-selling author of 2 memoirs, titled Redefining Realness and Surpassing Certainty. She founded #GirlsLikeUs, a project that empowers trans women, and recently spoke at the Women's March on Washington. She She is the first trans woman of color to write and produce for television with Ryan Murphy's FX series Pose. José Andrés is an internationally recognized chef and television personality, as well as the owner of ThinkFoodGroup, which, together with World Central Kitchen and #Chefs for Puerto Rico, has served over 3 million meals in Puerto Rico following the devastation of Hurricane Maria in 2017. Nicole Hockley is the mother of Dylan Hockley, a student who was tragically gunned down in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in 2012. Nicole is the founder and managing director of Sandy Hook Promise, SHP, the national non-profit organization, working to enable social change and promote gun violence prevention. Patrisse Cullors is the co-founder of Black Lives Matter and a New York Times bestseller. She is a Fulbright scholar, noted public speaker, and an NAACP history maker. She says the current Black Renaissance the film industry is seeing is the result of years of protest. "We can't forget about #Oscars so white," she told Variety. For Black Lives Matter, it was challenging how whiteness was permeating everything including Hollywood. So what we're seeing is the culmination of years of organizing. Of us saying, hey, this isn't fair. Tarana Burke is the founder of the Me Too movement. She is a longtime activist committed to American civil rights activist who works at the intersection of racial justice and sexual violence. A longtime fan who's watched the Oscars annually, she says walking into the theater for a rehearsal for Stand Up for Something was surprising to see how much smaller it is. But on the stage it was like, this is a big deal, says Burke. Although Common and Andra are correct in the fact that the true activists are the people in the world who are on the front line, they're blind to the fact that Americans are tired of the entertainment industry shoving their political beliefs down our throats every chance they get, polarizing events that are meant to entertain the public. Instead, they chose to divide it. When Americans sit down to watch television, most want to forget about the stresses of life for a brief moment. They aren't looking to hear what some entitled entertainer thinks about politics. These celebrities better be careful because they're starting to irritate the people who help fund their enormous paychecks, and if they keep pushing, they might be looking for a new job, one that pays far less than they're used to.